And we're back. Welcome to another episode of Successful Marketing, Sales, and Relationships for Adult Small Business Owners and Entrepreneurs. The perfect podcast for small business owners with small teams and solopreneurs who are looking to grow their business in 2024. I am your host, best-selling author Sadon Long, and it's Monday. That's right, it's Monday. You know, April 22nd, which means that there's about roughly 8 or 9 days left in the month. And this is the week. If you're a small business owner, this is the week. This is the week where you got to close some business. This is the week where you got to get some sales. This is the week where you got to turn things around if you're down. So, with that being said, I want to jump on today and give you some strategies that I work through with my clients, some strategies that I work through myself. Things that I picked up along the way, being in recruiting, being someone who was accountable for sales goals each and every week. So, without any further ado, let's just get into it. But oh wait, one more thing before we get into it. Tomorrow, that's right, tomorrow. Make sure you tune in to WLTH because I will be on WLTH with the Tia Muhammad, your favorite grant writer. And, we're going to be just basically talking about what's going on in this climate, what you're up against, and what you need to do to overcome it as a small business owner, especially as a small business owner who's also a young adult. Because here's the upside. If you get it right in your 20s, it makes your 30s, 40s, and 50s so much easier. Because as your business grows, the interest on the money you're making grows, the amount of people you're able to hire and employ grows, which gives you a level of freedom in your 40s and 50s that you never could imagine. I mean, just think about it. If you can get through these early stages right now and get a sustainable, consistent system that continues to bring you customers so that you can then hire more people, now they're running the business. You're the face of the organization. You're able to reinvest in real estate. You're able to invest in cryptocurrency. You're able to invest in Turo, cannabis, or any other thing that comes along because you have the money and the freedom to research it and do something about it. So that's what we're doing tomorrow. Make sure it's 7 o'clock you tune in to WOTH with Tia Muhammad and myself because we're going to get down with the get down. And if you are not there, you might miss something really great. That's just the truth. Oh, and the following week, my guy, founder of the Family Life Center, Emmy winner, Mr. Feet to the Street himself, LaJuan Clemens is going to be her guest. So not only make sure that you tune in this week, but make sure you tune in each and every week because as you see, she's got some of the most impactful people within the community and the country pulling up on her show. Because I mean, let's keep it a buck. I am a best-selling author. My work is generated right now somewhere in upwards of the 8-figure mark. I'm an award-winning trainer, and yeah, my clients include former mayors and business women of the year and Emmy winners. So yeah, if there's ever a resource that you need to tune into and tap into, I'm probably it. And that's not me being, arrogant or anything. That's just me saying how many people actually can say that they've helped people. Statistically, I've helped people retire their spouses. Help people go from doing 5 figures to doing 7. Help people win awards. Help people sustain their businesses, feed their family. And if you want to be one of those people, tune in tomorrow because we're gonna chop it up. And she might throw in a few little sprinkles about how you can get some of that grant money on top of that, no doubt. And then the following week, like I said, LaJuan Clemens is gonna be on there. Emmy-winning LaJuan Clemens, Mr. Feet to the Street himself. Talking about what's going on in Gary, talking about what's going on at the Family Life Center, and how he's helping to feed senior citizens and the homeless. Man, so not only can you be a part of it, you can actually figure out how to do it yourself because he is a wealth of information and he is always willing to share. So make sure you tune in tomorrow at 7 o'clock and make sure you keep tuning in because next week, man, LaJuan Clemens is going to be on there. So without any further ado, let's get to it. You know, like I said, man, it's the end of the month. It is important. These were all of that. Well, we're gonna get back to yous, and we're still looking. This way, you got to reel that stuff in. Because if you don't reel it in, bill collector's still gonna come on Monday morning, man. Mail business, the bill collector still gonna come. Website, still gonna want you to give them that money for those emails and all those other little bells and whistles. Wi-Fi still gonna be due, phone bill still gonna be due, mortgage, water, light, rent, all those things are still gonna be due. And if you're a small business owner, solopreneur, those two specifically, it means more to you than anybody else because you're probably paying for this stuff out of your pocket. If you're a small business owner with a small team, you're probably paying some of this stuff out of your pocket. You're probably paying some of this stuff out of your 401k. You're probably paying some of this stuff out of your check. So if that money's going to your business, who's helping your family? Who's preparing for your retirement? Who's got your incidentals covered? What if something breaks down? So that's what you're up against. You got to make this thing work, Doc, because of those things. Because the fact that your son, your daughter, your grandchild might get sick and you need to be able to be there. You might need to get on a plane to go see about mama. So you got to have that incidental money stocked up. You may lose an employee, a good employee. So now you got to be able to be in a position to work without that employee. And it's easier to put a little bit more on everybody else if you can pay them. Voila, magic. So first thing we want to do when looking at our month, looking at this last week of the month, first thing we want to do is figure out exactly where we are. Okay. Am I trending in the right direction? Am I getting more money this month than I thought I'd get? That's great. If you're getting more money this month than you thought you'd get, now how do we turn that into a little bit more money? Because again, if you're getting more money than you thought you'd get this month, maybe next month could be slow. So you want to try to get it while the getting is good. That's the first thing. Figuring out where you're at. Okay, so if I'm doing good, now how do I take good to great? Now if I'm doing not so good, then I need to figure out how to go from not so good to saving the month. Okay, so whether you're doing good or bad, the first thing you need to figure out is where you're at. The second thing you need to figure out is why. Why are we doing good or why are we doing bad? Okay. If we're doing good, what is it that we're doing? Is it the sale we're running? Is it the fact that we got a couple referrals this month? Is it some old business that came back around? What is the reason that we're doing good? See, a lot of times what people will do is when they're doing good, they just happy with doing good, but they don't know why they're doing good. And a real executive, a real boss knows why they're doing good. They could sit down and say, oh wow, this month we're doing good because we hired 2 new people and they both kicking butt. This month we're doing good because we sent out 100 mailers more than we sent out the previous month, and we got 5 or 6 more customers from that. This month we're doing good because we started calling people back who had done business with us before and asking if they wanted to do business with us again. Okay. So now you know exactly why you're doing good. So you say, well, why is that important? Because if you know why you're doing good, now you can keep doing it. Now you can highlight it. Now you can go out there and talk to your people about it and say, hey, this is affecting us in a positive way. Let's keep this up. Let's keep calling. Let's keep emailing. Let's make sure that we keep asking, is 2 or 3 enough? Because all of those things are finally starting to pay off. Now, from a morale and culture standpoint, it gives you as the boss some credibility. See, I told you. If we did this, it would work. So now your people believe in you that much more. Now they work that much harder for you. Number 2, it gives you some breathing room. Like, oh, okay, cool. Now My people believe in it. My people are executing it. My people are doing it. Now I could, whoo, for a minute and start to focus on some of these other things. Okay. So you got to know why you're winning so that you could keep that momentum going. Same thing if you're not winning. Same thing if you're not doing as much as you thought you would have done this month. Why? Do we have too many people saying they're going to get back with us that we never followed up with? Because it could be, number one, that you're doing something wrong in the meetings. Maybe I'm talking too much. Maybe I'm not asking the right questions, like when are you looking to get started? Maybe I don't have the right time attached to my offer. Now let's break that one down. That's a very important one. See, when you send out a proposal, when you send out, some offer for work, you put a time limit on it. You send out a proposal and let's just say you're giving them a $300 discount. You say, but this discount's only good for the next 10 days. So now that person has to make a decision within the next 10 days. This offer is only good until this time right here. No different than when people send out the sales paper and the sale only runs through the weekend. Okay. So the reason you want to put that time stamp on it is so that you don't get to the end of the month and you got people out there going, well, we still thinking about it. Okay. Well, you could still be thinking about it, but it's going to cost you $300 more. I don't want to say the $300. So now they're going to do business now as opposed to later. Now, when they do call back, they're going to call back and you're going to be in control because they're calling back going, yeah, can I still get that deal? Yeah, if you start tomorrow. So now, end of the month, you don't have all these open clients who are still looking around because you told them, hey, the deal that I'm giving you is only good until this day. So now we could put that business in the bank as opposed to it still be spinning around in the air. So again, if we're not where we want to be, let's look at why. Did we not make enough calls? I know that you want to work social media. I know that you want to work strangers. I know that you want to automate your system and just, get people to magically appear and click the button. I get that. But you behind, Doc. So now you got to pick up some phones. Now you got to send some emails. Now you got to do something that has an immediate effect on business. A today effect. A phone call today could be a sale today. An email today could be a sale today. A video, maybe, maybe not. We ain't sure. It's possible. But more than likely, maybe not. So right now, what you need to do is say, okay, well, what is it we're not doing? Because if we're not reaching out enough, that means that people have forgotten about us. And as I always say, problems come in cycles. So maybe at the beginning of the month, things was good. They had just gotten a paycheck. They was running around having a good time. But now it's a little bit closer to whatever the thing is that they're dealing with becoming a problem. So now, guess what? They back in the market again. They dodged it last month. But now, yeah, they really do need to lose that weight. Yeah, that engine light's still on. Yeah, now it's making a little bit more noise. Now it's scrubbing a little bit more. So now you get right back in there and say, yeah, I know we talked last month and you said you was good, but I'm just checking to see if you're still good. I know when you came in, that light was on. I want to check it to see if you ever got it fixed. Is it still scrubbing like it was scrubbing before? Okay, if it is, now we need to bring you back in and get this thing knocked out. So that you can then affect your business in a positive way. So that you can then take care of your family. So that you can then make payroll. So that you can then do all the things that you need to do in order to be the business owner that you know you're meant to be. Because if there's no wealth transfer, there's no wealth creation, which means that there's no generational wealth. So if the one thing that is keeping you from creating this generational wealth is that you're not busy enough trying to acquire customers, yeah, that's a problem. So now you got to fix that problem because we're at the end of the month. Okay, this is where these things gotta come to pass. It's the fourth quarter. Now you got to be on top of your game because those bills are going to be due again. And if you don't have customers paying for those bills, who's going to be paying? Is it going to be you? Is it going to be your credit card? Is it going to be your spouse? Okay. And how are they going to look at you? Man, you took another $500 out of the account to cover your business. You what? You need what? You got to do what? So you got to do what? On the card? What's this charge for? Who are these people? Oh, well, I had a problem down at the shop. So now those people who you count on and love, you can't protect them like you're supposed to. You can't be the mama you're supposed to. Can't be the daughter or the son you're supposed to because you don't have no sales. And the materials that you're using are getting a day older. So if you're in the food industry, you definitely need to be on top of your game. Why? Because that food's going to spoil, or it's going to get freezer burnt, or the quality of it is going to dip, which means that your customers who do business with you are going to notice it and be like, they were supposed to be fresh donuts, but these really taste like they're a day old. They're supposed to be fresh cupcakes, but yeah, these taste like they've been in the refrigerator. So again, another reason to be on top of your sales game. Another reason to be in charge of what's going on in your business. So if you don't know what's going on and you don't know what to inspect and you're not inspecting it, how can you improve it? So now, again, we go back and we say, okay, cool. What are we not doing? What do we need to do to affect it? And if we're doing everything, do we just need to recalibrate our expectations? Like, yeah, this is going to be a bad month. We're doing everything right. We're doing everything we're supposed to do. So where can we cut? Again, I know that, we come from the employee world and not the management world most of the time, but you the boss now. So yeah, where can we cut? Whose hours can we cut? You know what I'm saying? Who can we send home a little bit early so that we don't have to expend that additional money on payroll? It's not working anyway. So maybe we do need to send some people home. Maybe we do need to, evaluate the people that we have on the roster as employees and say, well, man, I'm supposed to be getting, 1,500 a week in sales out of each one of these people, and they keep giving me 6. Maybe it's time to replace them. No disrespect, no shade. This ain't personal. I'm paying you like you giving me 1,500 in sales, but you only giving me 6. I'm telling you exactly what I need you to be out here on the floor doing to get me that extra money, and you're not getting it from me. So now, where are we at? Where are we at? What do we need to do in order to make these moves in the right direction? So sometimes you might need to write, this stuff down and sit down with them and look them eye to eye. Say, hey, man, here's the numbers. Here's the real numbers. 3 weeks in a row, you've given me 500 in sales. The goal for you is 1,500. This the last week of the month. I need you to figure out what you're going to do differently. Okay. And now allow them to tell you what they're going to do differently. Because a lot of us, we own these boutiques and things like that, and we own these, shoe stores, and we own these different retail locations, and we never really sit down with the people and say, well, what do we need to do to reach the goal so that I can continue to pay you? Because if we don't reach the goals, then either one or two things is going to happen. Either A, I'm going to have to pay you out of my pocket, and I ain't really trying to do that, or B, you're not going to get paid. So now that person realizes that they're responsible. They're responsible for their sales. They're responsible for their paycheck. They're responsible for their contribution to the overall well-being of this particular job that they have. A lot of times people just think, okay, cool, I'm just going to go to work, I'm going to do my job, and never think about whether or not they're doing it well or not. So for you as the business owner, for you as the person who only got 4 people, man, you need each and every one of them people to be operating at peak efficiency. Because if you're not, you're talking about 50% of your sales force underperforming. So if half of the people that you're paying are not doing what they're supposed to do, how do you then cover these bills that are coming in less than 8 days? How do you then help your family? How do you then help yourself? We talk about this all the time. In order to be the superstar, rock star business owner, you need sales. In order to be that person that people want to put on the podcast, that people want to interview, that people see out looking fresh, dipped, and fly, and to do it with no stress and sleep well at night and not put yourself in jeopardy of one bad thing ruining all of it, you need sales. You got a nice car. Something goes wrong with that car, you got to get it fixed. But if all your money is going towards your business, how are you going to get that $300 tire? I know you want a new house. Why? Because the more you do, the better you live, the more you want to live better. But now mortgages and rent it's like 50% more than it was just 2 years ago. So the house that you've been dreaming about that was maybe $1,700 a month is probably $34. So now you got to keep up by getting sales. And I know you're like, well, I got people marketing my business. But let me break something down to you. Here's what marketing's supposed to do. Your marketing is supposed to make your recruiting, which is what your social media is for, easier and more attractive, easier to understand and more attractive to the people who are most likely going to give you some money. I'm repeat it one more time. Your marketing is supposed to make it easier to understand your business, easier to understand, and more attractive to people who are most likely to give you money. Okay. Because your promo in your social media is supposed to be recruiting. It's supposed to be out there finding new customers, headhunting. Like, hey, there's 2 people over there who look like they want to give us some business. Now, how do we get them over here? Okay. That's what the social media is for. You're supposed to be popping up on people's suggested content. You're supposed to be right there at the top for things that your customers are looking for. They're supposed to see your videos, see your promos, see all your stuff because it's attractive to them, because their mind is seeking it out. See, your mind is always looking for ways to help you survive. If you are trying to lose weight, everything concerning lose weight becomes attractive to you. No different than when somebody gets a blue car and all of a sudden you see that blue car 100 different times, because now your brain's like, oh, there you go, right there. So your marketing is supposed to make it more attractive. So now that those people are being recruited, you that wants to lose weight, you that wants to take a vacation and doesn't want to pay, more than $500 to do it, you that wants to get your nails done, hey you. That's what your social media is supposed to be doing. That's what your promo is supposed to be doing. And the marketing is how we make it more attractive, because now we're pinpointing what words and phrases we need to say in order to be attractive and eye-catching to those people. But now we still have to do it with enough consistency, because again, problems come in cycles and people are busy and you never know if you post one time if they saw your post or not. And quite honestly, the platforms are not just giving you full reign to all their customers. They want you to prove to them that you're worthy of it, whether by spending your $1 or by consistently posting. So now if you consistently do it and people consistently watch it, then they'll give you a few more people to watch. So you can't count on that to be the thing, because again, we're talking about recruiting strangers. So now what's going to work faster? If you've been listening since the beginning, you know what I said in the very beginning, which is that, hey man, a call today could be a sale today. So now you got to make sure that when you get customers that you closing them. You got to make sure that if there's an open loop out there, that you close that loop. If there's a question, you get the question answered. If there's a question about price, that you get it answered. If there's a question about when you can start, you get it answered. If there's a question, about who's the best in your industry, that you get it answered. Okay. And then you take those same things and you put them on social media, so that the people who are on social media who have the same problems can see what you're talking about with the people who are actually in your face each and every day, because they have those same questions too. They just don't know you yet. But if they have those questions, their brain is then going to pick up on what you're putting down, so that you can then get them as well. Now, what's supposed to happen is you recruit them to your website. Your website's supposed to be closing. Okay, so now maybe you need to review what's being said on your website. Is not just is it working, but is it saying what it's supposed to say, so that when the person comes to the website, that it closes them. You know, is it something that is working to close customers? Is my website working to close customers? You know, example, shout out to my man Jeremy Lander. So when we go to Jeremy's site, it says use a little bit of credit to make a lot of money. To find out how, click here. Okay, so if I got questions about turning credit into wealth, I go to his website. It tells me immediately, hey man, here's how. Click the button. See, that's a closer. That is a closer. You go to my website. It's like, hey man, no boss, no worries. No boss, no worries, no limits. All you got to do is click the link to find out how to get my help. It tells you exactly what we do. It tells you exactly how to get my help. Bam, close. Let's get to it and do it. So with that being said, is my website closing? Number 2, are my emails closing? See, your email and your website should be talking. They should be in competition. Your email should be like, oh, I closed 3 yesterday. Your website should be like, oh, I closed 4. Your email should say, well, when I go out tomorrow, I'm closing 4 more. Why? Because as a small business owner, that's what you need to happen in order for you to cover these bills at the end of the month. You need the website and the email to be closing. You need the social media to be recruiting. And then whatever's left over, because some of the people ain't going to trust the website, some of the people ain't going to trust the email, and they actually want to talk to you or one of your people. So now either you need to be working on your closing skills so that you can close these people yourself. And if you only got, a small team, 4 or 5 people, then you probably do have to close some of these people yourself, or you need to be hiring closers. And not only do you need to be hiring closers, you need to be holding your closers accountable. Okay? Because if you can't close them and your people can't close them, who's going to close them? Okay. So now if you're spending money on SEO, if you're spending money to boost ads, to drive them to a website that doesn't close, you're not sending out any emails. Because man, if you send the emails out, you might get lucky. And what would getting lucky mean? 1 or 2 sales, 3, 4. And if you work your referral system, maybe 1 or 2 sales turns into 4 or 5. But again, if it's not closing, if your website's not closing, and your people aren't closing, and you aren't closing, that might be why you're having a bad month. Because you're not doing the things necessary to get you where you need to be in regard to how your business is running. Sat with a client on Saturday. Yeah, I sat with a client on Saturday morning. That's right, for sure. And the epiphany that they had is like, oh, this stuff is all connected. Exactly. It's all connected. Each and every piece of it. Social media recruits them. Website, email closes them. Whatever is left over that needs to be closed, then either me or my people close it. Okay. But if I'm hiring people who can't close, then I'm costing myself money. Because everybody's not going to close. Some people are going to want to actually talk to a person. So if I can't close them and my people can't close them, I'm probably going to lose money. I know a lot of people out here, they talk about selling big ticket items. You're spending $50,000 to learn how to sell big ticket items. But the thing is about big ticket items, man, is that if somebody going to spend that type of money with you, they need to talk to a salesperson. They need to talk to somebody, a human being, before they write that check. Now, if you're uncomfortable talking to people when you're stuttering and you're talking too much and you don't know how to focus on listening to get the right information, now what ends up happening is you take a meeting where you could get $10, $15, $20,000 and you fumble it. Why? Because you're not working on your closing skills. Why? Because you're hiring people who can't close. So now you could save your month with just a couple of those closes. And if you get a couple of those closes, man, now you're talking about 40 grand. So imagine if I closed a couple people, my person who I hired to close people closed a couple people. Now we'd have 4 people closed. and we got maybe one or two more out of the email. Now we got 6. And man, we've been consistently pumping out this, social media, letting people know, hey man, end of the month, the sale's gonna end. They went to the website. Now we got a couple more. So then this last month becomes something special and exciting and beautiful that sets you on a path of generational wealth. So again, let's go back to the top. If you're doing good, figure out why you're doing good. Now, what am I doing that is affecting business in a positive way? Is it somebody I hired? Is it an email that I sent? Is it a video that I shot? Is it a promotion that I'm running? So then we could do more of that, so that we can dissect that and look at what was appealing to the people about it. See, that's that marketing piece. Don't confuse the promo and the marketing. The marketing is the dissecting of why it's working. The promo is what you did. I posted the video. I created the flyer. I put, the stuff on my homepage, whatever. That's the promo part. The marketing is why this is working. What's appealing about it? What did we say that was appealing? What was attractive about it? And how do we tweak that a little bit to make it that much more effective? That's where the marketing and the copywriting, those things come into play. Because this is a word-driven business, because words create thoughts, and the thoughts that you give people to think about you and your business is what creates your brand. So again, with that being said, figure out what you're doing well, keep doing it, keep doing more of it. If it's the people, man, you get out there and you tell them people thank you, and you tell them they're doing wonderful. You let them know exactly where you are and what we need to do down the home stretch, because we are truly in the home stretch right now. And then if you're not doing so good, hey, why are we not? If it's something that we're not doing, then we need to start doing it. If it's something that we're not doing well enough, maybe we need to do some training on it. Maybe we need to bring in somebody like me, Sadon Long, to do some training with your people on how to close, how to present, how to go from getting one sale to turning one sale into 2 or 3. What to be saying, what to be doing to have the ultimate effect on your overall business that you need to create this generational wealth, so that you can be the parent, daughter, grandmother, grandfather that you're meant to be. So that you can be the husband or wife that you want to be, the human being you want to be. Drive what you want to drive, go where you want to go. Those things. So you got to figure out where the dead weight is. You got to figure out if that dead weight can be saved, and if it can't be saved, man, you got to cut it. Cut it. Exactly. You got to cut it. And I say that because a lot of us are in these abusive relationships with our employees, allowing things to happen with our employees that we never allow to happen with somebody we dated. I say it all the time. There are things you're letting your employees do to you that you never let a man do to you. So with that being said, if it's dead weight, even if it's a homegirl or a family member or a close friend, hey man, this is business, and you're not living up to your end of the bargain. I'm not getting rid of you. I'm not cutting your hours because you're doing great and I'm just being a jerk. I'm cutting your hours and cutting you off because you're not giving me what I need in exchange for the money that I'm giving you. And if we keep it like that, then that other person just has to be honest. What do you expect me to do if I'm paying you for $1,500 and you only giving me $6, and it's been 3 weeks? What do you expect me to do? And that person has to be honest and say, yeah, you're right. I understand. I either A, got to do better, or B, got to get gone. So you have to do these things. You gotta trim the tree sometime, so the other branches can grow. Because what happens is, if you keep letting underperformers work and get hours, it makes the people who doing their job not want to do their job anymore. If you keep paying Carol, and Carol never hitting her sales goal, and Carol, messing up at the register, and Carol ain't, asking people if 2 or 3 is enough, and she just letting people pick one thing up and ring it up, now that's going to demotivate the whole team. The more you let one person get away with something, the more other people start to resent you and that other person. And resentment is the key to, is one of the key killers of business. Resenteeism is people who've already quit their job but keep collecting a check. Basically, people who are stealing from you and smiling in your face the whole time they do it. So what you want to do, man, is you want to evaluate those people. and get good people in there, because you need those people to be able to close. You need those people to be able to generate sales. You need those people to be able to deliver the deliverables in a timely fashion so that you can get the work done. You know, but that's been another episode, man. It's a little bit of, after 8 o'clock. We've been doing this for about 35 minutes. I know you got things to do. If you're listening to it in real time, hey, man, let's make this Monday the best Monday we could possibly make it. If you listen to it later, hey, let's make tomorrow the best day, and any other day after this. And as always, man, if you got any needs, how to turn that social media into a real recruiter, how to make that website a closer, how to make those emails close for you, how to hire the right people so that those people can actually bring in customers and bring benefit to your business, or how to make yourself a better closer. Because obviously, you're the face of the organization. If you got any questions about any of those things, man, make sure you go over to growingrich.com, click the Just Get Started button. You can get a free 30 with me. Again, best-selling author, Sadon Long, business coaching and mentoring. That's where the book was #1 at in multiple countries. So, as always, man, I love you. It's your business big bro, Sadon Long, a.k.a. the most dangerous man in marketing, a.k.a. better than your 401k. And do not forget, tomorrow, 7 o'clock, WLTH, tune in. I'll be on there with the I guess local queen of grant writing. We got to find her a name, but I'm gonna be on there with Atia Muhammad, man. Wonderful woman. Helping small business owners expand their businesses, get startup capital, find ways to get money to sustain these businesses until the sales and the customers and the clients kick in. Because really, that's what grant money's for. Is to be the bridge between getting started and getting better, or the bridge between getting better to getting great. So she's around to help you do that. Again, it's Atia Muhammad. She's tagged in the Facebook post, so you could go and see more about her page as well. As always, man, I love you, and I'm out.